Hello, I'm Charles Randall Lorenz Leach, and I'm doing a little demo for a deck that I like. This deck is called Night March. On my blog, CR's Pokemon Adventures.blogspot.com, I've written up a short analysis of Night March, and an in-depth commentary on each card that I run, my list, why I run it, and some viable alternatives, things you could cut, things you could add. I don't have very many top cuts with this list. I made top 4 at Springfield City Championships. I went 5-2 and 4-2 the 2 days I was at the Chicago Marathon. I went 4-1 at a league challenge in Chicago. So far this deck has earned me 55 championship points. And I have a grand total of 55 championship points this year because of some... didn't get to go to very many regionals. We don't have a lot of league challenges in this area. So I typed up this deck analysis for Night March, and I am shuffling the deck currently. I'm just going to play through a couple hands to give you a feel for how the deck works. Alright, so we're going to start by drawing 7 cards. Apologize for the phone quality video. Unfortunately, we are playing with... I'm videotaping with a cell phone. So we drew 1 basic with this hand. It's Joltik, so we'll start with Joltik. Set out 6 prize cards. We call Tails. It is Tails. We are going first. So we'll start by drawing a card. Not sure why it's not focusing. Okay, we'll draw a card. This is our hand. Right now there's no supporter in this hand. We're going to play Roller Skates to see if we draw something better. Roller Skates. It is Tails. We are not drawing more cards. We're going to play Random Receiver to see if we can get a supporter. Now we run 4 Professor Sycamore and 1 Lysander. There's a small chance we'll draw the Lysander, but a larger chance we'll draw the Sycamore. I'm just going to shuffle a little bit. Alright. Our hand is Catcher versus Seeker, Dimension Valley, Dark Energy, Switch, and Sycamore. Now, we're going first, so we can't attack this turn. If we were going second, I would just discard the energy, because we want to go for the DCE. But, since we're going first, we can attach the energy here. Hope we draw another one next turn. We'll put the Dimension Valley in play, because we're about to discard all the cards in our hand. And depending on what our opponent has, we have no opponent at the moment, but depending on what our opponent has, we might play the Catcher. We can't play the Switch, because we have no other bench Pokemon. We cannot play the Versus Seeker, because we have no supporters in the discard. So that leaves us one more option to try and guess it up, and that's Professor Sycamore. So we're going to draw 7 cards out of 6. Battle Compressor, Pumpkaboo, Lampent, Jirachi, UEX, Battle Compressor, Roller Skates. So right away we're going to play the Roller Skates, see if we can draw a supporter for next turn. It is Tails, but you see the deck is still functioning even though we're flipping all Tails. It's just not functioning as well as we would like. So we're going to bench the Mew. We don't want... Our Joltik is easy prey next turn. We're going to play both Battle Compressors. We're going to play 1, search the deck. We're going to get Lampent, We want to discard our last Lampent. We have 1 Lampent in our hand and 3 in our deck, and all 3 are now in our discard pile because we're discarding it with Battle Compressor. We're going to play the other Battle Compressor. We're going to go grab a Joltik, a Pumpkaboo, and a Pumpkaboo. We now have 6 Night Marchers in our discard pile. And we will have to pass the turn, because there's nothing else we can do. So assuming that let's assume that our... We could do this either way. We could assume the Joltik survived the turn, but likely it didn't. Usually things like Baby Yveltal or really anything could knock out our Joltik. So we'll assume that it did not survive the turn. It's very unfortunate. So we bring up our Mew, we draw, we'll try Roller Skates. Tails. But it's okay, we have Jirachi in our hand. We're going to use Stellar Guidance. You see how explosive the deck is. We already have 6 Night Marchers in the discard pile. And we haven't flipped a single heads on roller skates. What have we flipped? 2 or 3? We have played 1 roller skates, 2 roller skates, 3 roller skates, 3 tails, and we're still getting set up. We're going to use a Sycamore. There we go. That's 9 Night Marches in the discard pile. Right now, if we draw a Night Marcher and an energy, we will be doing 180 damage. And, ooh, unfortunately, we will whiff. This is not a great hand. We can, however, copy an opponent's attack. This is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. In this situation, I would almost sacrifice that. I'm going to attach a fighting energy to the benched Mew. And hopefully we'll draw a Night Marcher next turn. So, let's assume the Mew took a hit. Has some damage on it. We'll draw a card. That's also unfortunate. We're going to attach the double colorless to the active Mew. And attach a Muscle Band to the active Mew. It was a misplay to attach that fighting energy. I should have attached a DCE, and then if I drew a Night Marcher, I could attach a fighting to the active Mew and retreat it to the Mew with the DCE. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to play Versus Seeker, and we're going to go search for a Sycamore from our discard pile. Now, we're going to be playing Sycamore, and we're going to be discarding Dimension Valley. It's okay, we have one out. DCE, which is unfortunate. We would like to save these, ideally. And Lysander. And it's okay to discard the Lysander because we run Versus Seeker in the deck. We will be able to get this back. So we'll draw 7 new cards. And we get a Night Marcher, and we get roller skates. Let's see if we can get a heads on our last roller skates. It is heads. We will get to draw 1, 2, 3. We have lots of cards and lots of stuff to work with. We can bench the Joltik, and now we're hitting for 200 damage. So Mew EX gets knocked out. Our opponents have taken 3 prizes. We've taken 2. We just knocked out a big EX. And we can bring up Mew EX. We'll draw for the turn. We have such a big hand. So that's what the early game for Night March should look like. And we'll play it through one more time. Not sure quite how we're going to finish this game. We're a little behind on prizes. It's a little tough. That's not an ideal start. That's okay. That's how you do that. I'm sure if we had flipped more heads and roller skates, we might not have whiffed so many things, but that was also a misplay. Possibly we should have benched the Pumpkaboo instead of discarding it for higher Night March damage. Really, it depends. If our opponent had 140 HP, the opponent's attacking Pokemon had 140 HP, the Pumpkaboo would have been benched. If the opponent had 180 HP and hitting 140 into it would not have one-hit KO'd it, then that was the correct play. So, this is all an approximation. We, of course, are not playing against a real opponent, so let's try this. Just doing just a little pile shuffle here, trying to get everything randomized. Alright, the deck is shuffled. We're going to draw 7 cards. That is 5, 6, 7. Our hand is Roller Skates Jirachi. Ooh. This happens more often than you'd like it to. Jirachi start. Okay. We're going to call tails. It is heads. Our opponent goes first. They do stuff. They don't attack. We draw. Okay. We're gonna play roller skates. See if we can roll out of this. It's not looking great at the moment. Roller skates. It is heads. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We have a supporter for the turn. We drew the Battle Compressor, and we have the Verse Seeker, so we can turn that into a supporter. Well, let's play our other roller skates. Heads. Things are going our way now. Dark. Roller skates. Hard Charm. What I would do at this point is we know we're not going to need that Lysander this turn. We're going to be playing. We're going to be playing a Sycamore this turn. Let's flip our last roller skates. See if we're getting more cards to work with. Roller skates. Where did the die go? There it is. Heads again. See, when you're on fire like this, it's really great. Okay, DCE, Pumpkaboo, random receiver. Alright. We have several options. We could Battle Compressor versus Seeker for a Sycamore. We have Lysander in our hand, though, and we know that we run 4 Sycamore and 1 Lysander. So if Lysander's in our hand, that means a random receiver is a sure thing to get a Sycamore. So let's do that. Random receiver, and we're looking for Sycamore. We know we'll find it, but we don't know soon. There we are, Sycamore. I'm going to quick shuffle this back in. A little slight note, if you reveal the top card to be a supporter, you still need to shuffle your deck. This is a ruling from 2014. New ruling. It wasn't always like this, but that is important now. You must shuffle the 0 cards back into your deck. Okay, so we have a Jirachi start. Not ideal, but it's okay. We're going to use Ultra Ball. We're going to discard Lampent and a Fighting Energy, because we know we're going to play Sycamore this turn. We're going to be attaching the DCE. Those energies are useless. We're Ultra Balling for something. We're going to get... Okay, we're going second, so we can attack. So we want an attacker, and we know Joltik will be able to attack for sure. If we go for Mew, we're going to need... We have Pumpkaboo. So if we went for Mew, it could attack. It could copy Pumpkaboo's attack, but and we have the DC, but we need the Dimension Valley to get the attack off. We know if we go for Joltik, we can get the attack off for sure. So we Ultra Ball for Joltik. We'll bench it, and we'll play this handy switch we drew. Switch is in there specifically for Jirachi starts, not for much else. We'll attach a DCE to Joltik. We might play Catcher depending on what our opponent has. We have this Hard Charm. We're gonna be playing Sycamore anyway. We might as well attach it to Joltik. We have this handy Battle Compressor, so we're gonna go hunt down some Lampents, and looks like we have the 4th Lampent prize. So I'm just gonna grab a Joltik. I dropped all my cards. It's okay. Slight delay. So I grabbed Lampent, Joltik. I now have 4 Night Marchers in the discard pile. I'm going to play Professor Sycamore. Discard these cards, including a Pumpkaboo. I now have 5 Night Marchers in the discard pile. If I can just hit a couple more compressors, I could be knocking out an EX on turn 2. Alas, was not to be. Okay, so let's... Okay, so there are 5 Night Marchers in the discard pile, so 1 more Sycamore would get us 3 more for the 9. So we only need to discard one more Night Marcher manually. The next 3 we can get with the compressor. So we can bench 1 Pumpkaboo safely. This will probably be our attacker for next turn. We'll probably attach the DC either next turn. Also, in case we get End, we want to put Dimension Valley in play. We can Night March for 100 damage. That's a decent amount. So we're going to assume that our Joltik was knocked out. Because Joltik is weak, even with the Heart Charm. Our opponent only has to do 50 damage. So we'll bring up Pumpkaboo, we'll draw. Put a double colorless on Pumpkaboo, along with a Muscle Band. We'll be playing our Versus Seeker for the Sycamore back. So we want to be drawing a couple more cards this turn. We'll Sycamore. Discard these. We now have 7 Night Marchers in the discard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're drawing 7 new cards. And these are the cards we drew. Okay, we can bench another Joltik. This will be our attacker next turn. And, let's see, we have a Jirachi on the bench. We discarded a Jirachi, which means Ultra Ball will not get us a Jirachi next turn. We hit it for 100 damage last turn, so we know Pumpkaboo is 2 hitting whatever EX is active. We will Night March for the knockout. Grab a couple prizes. And as you see, we drew Mew. Assuming Pumpkaboo was knocked out, Pumpkaboo was very fragile. We had to bring up Joltik. We can bench Mew. Get this going. We have computer search. We have lots more options. We have stuff to do. So that, I hope I did a good job showing you a couple hands of Night March, what you can do. Night March is a puzzle. You want to draw more cards so you can get more Night March in the discard, Dimension Valley in play, attack for cheap. We didn't attack with Mew very much, but that's okay. I hope you got the point. Good luck. Thanks for watching. Check out my article on check out my blog post on CR's PokemonAdventures.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching.